If you're new to this, if you were watching AmFest 2025 and wondering, what the hell's going on here? Who were these people? Does anybody agree on anything? Does anybody remember Charlie Kirk? What is this? And who is this Ben Shapiro? Now, for some of us, we know exactly who he is, but there's a lot of young folks out there and folks who are maybe getting into this particular fray who want to know, what the hell's going on? Who are these people? That's where I come in. And that's where I can help. Because I have a very, very simple take on this. Very, very simple. Very no nonsense. Very specific. Let's simplify the issues here. Because here is the uncomfortable truth, my dear fellow patriots and lovers of liberty, that many in conservative media in particular whisper off camera, don't say, they don't want to talk about this, but they avoid saying because they're afraid. And why they're afraid, I have no idea. Ben Shapiro is not defending the conservative movement or whatever it is that you call this. And I admit right off the bat, I don't know if this is, to me, it's just truth. I'm not a conservative or a liberal or a Democrat or Republican. I have, and you may very well be in that position too, where these labels don't really apply. But for purposes of just this, for purposes of just shorthand, let's call it conservative, just so that we don't have to keep going back and rephrasing this. Ben Shapiro is freezing it in amber. It's like concrete, concretizing, ossifying it, calcifying it. He's not preserving its integrity. He's hollowing it out while insisting, and this is the part, insisting that he alone owns the brand, and he alone is leading the movement. Whatever the movement is, he is self-appointed. Why? Because he's Ben Shapiro, and he's going to finagle his way in there. And the bottom line is, please, with all due respect, if you think the next generation finds him attractive and his message and this sniping, trashing Tucker and Candace Owens, and I guess Megyn Kelly, I mean, everybody's wrong but him. What are you, nuts? And a word to TPUSA, what are you doing? I mean, is there any continuity? And again, this isn't about Erica Kirk at all, but does she know what she's walking into? Do you let everybody speak? Let me tell you, there have been some great firebrands. Candace, not there, of course. Tucker, Bannon, listen to them. Megyn, even Megyn's kind of... Megyn is about Megyn. Bless her heart. She's PM Magazine. She's not, she's not a heavyweight. She's good, very smart, but she's not in for the war. You know this, right? And that's not, look, that's not meant to be mean, but we have to be honest, okay? This is not about hurt feelings or being polite. Charlie Kirk would have been furious watching what happened. This is, and please, this is not about Israel or the Middle East or Trump or anything. It's not about anti-Semitism. It's about truth. And anyone still pretending otherwise is either lying or hopelessly confused. I don't understand this Middle East connection to this. That is not in any way a statement as to the severity, the importance, the criticality, the necessity of finding an answer to the Middle East. We're not talking about that. It's not about Russia. It's not about Ukraine. It's not about NATO. It's not about a lot of things. It's about a particular, very specifically defined mission. This is about power control and relevance, and a man whose entire act belongs to some other political era. Ben Shapiro is an anachronism. He's disco in a grunge decade. He's He's New Coke. He's Waterworld. He's My Mother the Car. Boy, ask your parents about that. Well, I mean, he's vaudeville. He's once dominant, once useful, now painfully out of sync with the moment. Because what is he doing? He recognizes the fact that his legacy, his importance, his statement, it's all gone, and he's panicking. The same way Piers Morgan and others are panicking by going after Candace Owens. It's out of jealousy. It's incredible. So let me say this again. They have nothing to say about our movement. They have nothing to say about the interstitial tenets, the code that we're trying to maintain. To them, it's about numbers and popularity and who's sexy and who's not. And like every legacy figure who senses the ground shifting beneath him, Ben Shapiro is grasping for control by sabotaging those actually moving the needle and moving the movement forward. Charlie Kirk understands something that Ben Shapiro never did, never would, and apparently never can. Politics is not a seminar. It's not a law school debate. It's not a performance of cleverness and speed talking. You notice that? Let's speak quickly. Let's speak as fast as we can and hope to God that nobody figures out that we don't know what the hell we're talking about. It's not some game, some competition for applause from donors and think tank panels. It is a machine. Politics is a machine, and it's turnout, it's energy, it's coalition, and it's about winning. It's a movement, and above all, it's about momentum and authenticity. And Charlie built momentum, and kids in particular knew that. I don't know who's running the show now, but they need to, as we say in the media world, blow it up. Start from scratch. And Erica, this is for you. You better take control of this because they're going to destroy your husband's legacy. And mark my words, and you know it, and everybody knows it. They're going to push you out. They're going to push you out and out of the way because you get in the way of this. You get in the way of their message. And who were they? Ben Shapiro. Ben's never understood this. Ben has nothing to do with winning people. He wants to destroy. He wants to attack. Okay, that's fine. I'm looking at somebody, 18, 19-year-old, somebody who is going to be the future of our movement. Again, we're still trying to figure out what the definition of that is. Ben Shapiro's entire career is based on negation. He's against things. He's against the left. He's against free thinking. He's against campus radicals. He's against bad arguments. He's against hypotheticals. He's against straw men that conveniently fit inside a 15-minute monologue. What is he for? What's his worldview? He doesn't build. He doesn't construct. He critiques. He criticizes. He attacks. He cross-examines. He doesn't mobilize. He scolds. And he doesn't inspire. Listen to what I'm saying. TP USA, what are you doing? Did you make any fans with him? You just threw Tucker and Candace under the bus? Do you know what he's going to say? This guy lectures. Charlie Kirk built an army of young people who actually show up. And let me say something. If you remember one thing that I'm saying, remember this. Charlie talked about inclusion. He talked to anybody. Come on in. Let's talk. You've got purple hair and you've got a pronoun nobody can pronounce, and you've got this booger jewelry, or what? Fine. You're a they, then, jur, whatever. Fine. We'll talk. Inclusion. What does Ben say? Get out. Deprogram. Throttle. Shut them up. Stovepipe them. Demonetize. Deplatform. Get rid of Candace. Get rid of Tucker. This is what he's saying at Charlie Kirk's organization. It blows my mind. And what I'm hearing, and everybody else is hearing, is that we're wondering who is running the show at Talking Points. This is, I mean, this AmFest, what was this? This is critical. I can't say it enough. Charlie Kirk built an army of young people who show up, who appreciate his honesty and his good natured. He talked about marriage. He talked about the Bible. He talked about Christian values. That's right, Christian values. I'm going to say it. Piers Morgan, that hack, he was the one, by the way, yelling at Nick Fuentes, whatever you say about Nick, you're entitled to your opinion. But they're calling us some incel, some virgin. It's like, hey, schmuck, don't you understand? His religion believes in not having sex before you're married. Would you honor that? I love this selective honoring. Some religions are honored, others aren't. And the difference we're talking about matters more than ideology. It matters more than theology, and it matters more than foreign policy disputes and Middle East problems. Not that they're not important, but that's not what this is about. Because movements do not survive on correct opinions alone. They survive on people, you and me, who believe that we and they are all part of something larger than ourselves. Ben Shapiro has never, ever, ever made anyone feel that way. His affect, his demeanor is hostile. His voice is grating, shrill. His cadence is taxing, exhausting. His posture is permanently, consistently adversarial. He sounds like a hall monitor, scolding you. Reading charges like Torquemada, reading the indictment. He looks like someone who can't understand why the party has started without him. Can you imagine this countenance, this affect, bringing in young people who are confused? Does he think he's Charlie's successor? Every appearance feels like some kind of intellectual chemotherapy, like some corrective memo. Every disagreement he has becomes some moral indictment. I'm right, they're wrong. Ignore Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens if you don't like them. Every time you mention their name, you elevate them. They become forbidden fruit. You only take flack when you're over the target. Don't you know this by now? And the reason why he doesn't is that he doesn't have a worldview. He doesn't have a message. He's like antimatter. Remember in the 7-Up commercial, the Uncola? Yeah, I'm dating myself with these 60s references, 70s. Look, every question from him is treated as an ambush. That worked once. That was cute then. It doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work now. The conservative movement, or whatever this thing is, has changed. The rules have changed. The audience has changed. The sensibility has changed. The audience wants to hear something new, hope, something good. And the country has changed. And Trump changed it. And Charlie Kirk understood that. Remember, Charlie Kirk, let me tell you, this guy was MAGA, this guy's Trump. Whether you like it or not, it was important. That doesn't mean he likes everything he does. But don't ever think that you always have to believe in everything that Candace Owens ever said or Tucker ever said from day one. This is ridiculous. And what did they do with her and with him? They're crazy. Oh, you and you're crazy. Oh, you think what? That there's evil forces out there? You think that there's evil forces, people who come out and that could actually be targeting her or somebody for harm? They just assassinated Charlie Kirk. What are you? Yes. That's a conspiracy. And if you believe this story they're giving you, good luck. Good luck. Nobody buys that. Charlie Kirk understood all of that. Candace Owens understands that. Tucker Carlson understands that. Ben Shapiro does not. He's from another planet, some parallel universe. And because he doesn't understand it, he's trying to break it. Watch the pattern. Watch. When Candace Owens challenges, we used to call them sacred cows, but I don't know if we still do it anymore. But Ben Shapiro doesn't debate her at all. He insinuates, he smears, He targets. He excoriates. He execrates. He lets his audience infer moral failure rather than confront her arguments directly. It's just incredible. When Tucker questions foreign entanglements, remember that? My generation, it was the Vietnam War. Our music, our culture, that's as American as anything else. Ben Shapiro doesn't engage in the substance. He questions motives. He hints at darkness, and he attempts to, what would you say, weaponize accusation? I mean, he's a one-trick pony. Look, you know it and I know it. So why is TPUSA involving this guy? Why? This isn't conservatism. This is gatekeeping. And Charlie Kirk despised gatekeeping. Charlie Kirk believed in expansion, in coalition, in populism, in bringing people together, including inclusion. People who did not speak the language perfectly, but understood the stakes instinctively. He believed America first meant Americans decide American policy. You got a problem with that? You got a problem with that? Huh? Do you? Because that's the message, period. Not about donors, not think tanks, not foreign governments, not ideological purity, none of that stuff. We're not talking about shadow government. We're not talking about the globalist war profiteering. No. Ben Shapiro believes, I guess, that conservatism is something you earn permission to speak. You're granted permission. I'm sorry, you have not passed our test. That is the core conflict. And you listen to me and you listen good, my dear friend. Whenever somebody tells you not to listen to somebody, I've never told you ever, don't listen to him. No, please listen to him. I insist. Because you know I'm right when you listen to him. I've never cut people. I don't, Piers Morgan blocked me. Oh, I don't lose any sleep. But on Twitter, Piers Morgan, David Crosby, Alec Baldwin, and people I don't even know. Piers Morgan, Mr. Uninterrupted or Uncensored or whatever it was. What's the matter with these people? I don't do that. I ignore them. And I never want them shut down. I want everybody to speak, to say whatever they want. It is not Israel first versus America first. It's not Christian Zionism versus realism. It's not. That is not in any way an invalidation of the ideology. It's about this particular realm vis-a-vis us. Period. Remember, this argument is not, this discussion is not about Russia, Putin, Zelensky, Crimea, NATO, the Soviet Union. It's not about any of that. And what they've done is, what Shapiro and other people have done is they've created this world that, remember, you know how this thing is. I don't have to tell you this. If you say something about black people, it's racism. If you say something about trans, it's transphobia. If you say something about, I wonder if maybe the 9/11 stories, you're a conspiracy theorist. See what they do? And if you say anything, ask any questions about anything involving the Middle East that has not been approved by Ben Shapiro, you're an anti-Semite, you're subject to hate, and you've got to be disqualified and deplatformed. We're done with that. Nobody's believing this. He doesn't know this because he's grasping for this. Don't you understand? He's losing control. This is not theology versus secularism. It's centralized control versus distributed energy and representation. It's an old guard that mistakes credentials for leadership. Leadership confronting a generation of new folks that we need to get to, who measure success in victories, not applause or likes or metrics. Charlie Kirk delivered victories. Ben Shapiro delivers podcasts, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. And that may sound harsh to some, but it's true. The truth hurts. Remember, the truth is what gets you in trouble, not lies. The truth. One builds institutions that win elections. The other builds a brand that monetizes commentary, which is fine, and dispute and dismay and disruption. And those are not the same thing. See, they don't serve the same purpose. Oh, no, 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 no. And when the movement must choose between them, the choice becomes obvious. Charlie Kirk was dangerous to the establishment, because he produced something they couldn't produce, results. And that's why they killed him. He turned young voters. He inspired them. He built ground operations. He delivered turnout. He changed the map. That is why he was attacked. And that's why his legacy is being destroyed by people like Ben Shapiro, who want to grab the control. If you want to grab the control, not with this guy. Not with this guy. I mean, if they, look, you know what? Continue with him. Go ahead. I don't know who is I don't know who he's luring into this. He's playing to the crowd. See, that's why he was undermined. That's why figures like Ben Shapiro resented Charlie. That's why they took him out. Resentment and jealousy, that's the hidden engine here. Don't believe me. These people have never in their lives ever been in a position where sometimes popularity will get them. Hey, I'm okay. I'm cool. Cash Patel. Hey, I got a girlfriend. Hey, look at me. Hey, I'm attractive. Hey, it's weird. Hey, I'm famous. I've seen this in talk radio. All of a sudden, somebody gets a radio show. This is the old days, and they feel Delphic. They feel oracular. I'm the Oracle of Delphi. Listen to me. I'm a voice. No, you're not. It's everybody wants to be the next Rush Limbaugh, and even saying that shows my age. Ben Shapiro has always wanted to be ostensibly the intellectual leader of, I guess, conservatism. Again, that label. But intellectual leadership in particular doesn't belong to the smartest person in the room, necessarily. It belongs to the person people follow. If you are unattractive, intellectually, spiritually, socially, ideologically, doesn't matter how smart you are. And the people are not following Ben Shapiro anymore. They're following Charlie and Charlie's legacy and Candace and Tucker. And let me also tell you something. You better do everything in your power if you want to stop Nick Fuentes, if that's your thing. Stop creating the monster you want to stop. You're making him to be, again, forbidden fruit. You're making him, you're creating his popularity. They don't even know how to do this. It's called ignoring and indifference. People today are following Tucker. People are following Candace. You don't understand this. Did you hear the applause? And don't ever rule out Bannon, and don't ever rule out Alex Jones. Ever. Okay? Those folks were following Trump. Ben couldn't stand Trump. This guy, he just absolutely, he was all over the place. He was slippery and slimy, and oh my God, it was the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. I said, where did he come from? Honest to God, where does he come from? How does he think anybody's going to find this at all interesting or sincere? It's protean. It changes. So when Ben gets into problems, he reverts to what he knows. Delegitimization, demonization, moral framing, libel, defamation, accusation by implication, pleas and entreaties for dismissal. The same tactic legacy media uses all the time. The same tactic the left uses. Dress it up as concern, call it responsibility, but the actual function is always the same. Control the boundaries. Control the boundaries of acceptable and permissible thought. And Charlie Kirk broke through those boundaries. He refused to accept that conservatism had to be polite. He refused to accept that it had to be deferential. He refused to accept that foreign policy was off limits. He refused to accept that donors outranked voters. He couldn't be bought. He absolutely refused to accept that questioning alliances was either anti-Semitic or immoral or something along those lines. That refusal terrified people. People whose authority depended on unquestioned assumptions and obeisance. Ben Shapiro's model, if you can call it that, requires fixed beliefs and axioms. Certain topics cannot be challenged. Certain subjects cannot be brought up. Certain premises cannot be questioned. Certain figures cannot be criticized. The moment those axioms collapse, the moment the emperor is observed to be not wearing any clothes, his authority collapses with him. And that is why his responses feel panicked and frenetic. That is why his tone is always brittle and harsh and screeching. That is why his attacks feel personal, because they are. It's not because Candace Owens or Tucker or the legacy of Charlie are wrong. Oh, not even close. It's because they're uncontrollable. And he can't control them. He doesn't fit in. He's an anachronism. Charlie Kirk empowered uncontrollable people. He created them. That's why his absence matters so much. That's why it still stings. Not because of symbolism, but because of the vacuum that was created. And let me tell you something. Vacuums invite predators. So watch carefully. Watch carefully. Erica, pay attention. Ben Shapiro will attempt to move into that vacuum. He will speak of unity. He will warn of division. Be careful. He will claim, maturity, but he will insist that the movement must be careful, responsible, respectable. Be careful, and I'll determine what those mean. Those words always mean the same things. Slow down, sit down, shut up, and let the adults talk. We don't need you anymore. Just keep contributing. We're in charge. Charlie Kirk never waited for permission. He understood from the get-go this conservative movement, whatever you want to call it, doesn't survive by appeasing or placating critics. It survives by energizing its base and expanding it. And that requires, my dear friend, risk. And it requires sometimes friction and going against the grain. It requires allowing uncomfortable conversations to happen in public. Ben Shapiro cannot tolerate that. He cannot abide that. He can't handle that. His entire persona is built around control. Control of the frame, control of the optics, control of the language, control of the acceptable range of conclusions. You can think this, and this. That's why he sounds always perpetually irritated and pissed off. The world will not stay inside his outline. And he again goes after Tucker, saying out loud what millions already believe. This is Tucker. He glashes at Candace for refusing to apologize. He attacks and lashes and berates anyone who disrupts his narrative that he is given and the equilibrium that he's given. Don't think for a moment. This isn't his idea. He is told what to do. This is the official, these are the minutes of the meeting. And in doing so, he reveals the truth. He is not the future of conservatism. AmFest, TPUSA, get it through your head. He is the past, clinging to some kind of relevance. Charlie Kirk believed the moment and the movement really belonged to the people, young people who showed up. I keep saying young, because that's the future. Not the people who talk the most, not the people who clamored and yammered, not the people with the cleanest resumes, but the people who organized, the people who actually showed up and did something, the people who voted, the people who believed in change, the people who believed in something, the people who recognized and believed in authenticity, and the people who knocked on doors and took heat and refused to back down. That's what he stood for. Ben Shapiro hasn't been one of those people ever. He's a hack. He's an observer who mistook, again, commentary and this rapid-fire celeritous speech for some kind of leadership and intellect. And he's a very smart man, don't get me wrong. Oh, yes. And now that the movement has outgrown him, he's trying to pull it back. He's freaking out, pull it back into some kind of a box that fits his ego. But it will not work. I'm telling you. Erica, pay attention. This movement is not a debate club. It's not a podcast network. Dan Bongino's going to find that out. It's not a donor dinner. It's a living thing. It's vibrant. It's messy and it's loud and it's inconsistent and it's populist. And above all, it's intolerant of condescension. It hates that. Charlie Kirk knew that. Charlie Kirk, his legacy will live on. Ben Shapiro never got that. He still doesn't. And for him to go at AmFest and call out these people in front of the tone deaf, clueless, that's why history will remember Charlie Kirk as a builder and Ben Shapiro as a footnote. And he knows that. Not because of ideology, not because of any particular country, not because of the Middle East, but because of theology. An intellectual theology, not erstwhile. And the theology of thinking, of rational thinking, of critical thinking. That's our religion. Critical thinking, enthusiasm, authenticity. Let me tell you something. This is the most important thing in the world. And I've said enough, and I think you know that. My friends, please focus on what's happening right now. I want you to know, I can't say enough about this. I see the clearest opportunity for those of us in our world to make a difference, to inspire, to recruit, to proselytize in a good way, and bring on board a lot of people like you and me who believe in something, who believe in the country, who believe in the faith, who believe in truth. That's all. I thank you for your very kind comments. Thank you for your support. Thank you. I ask you, dear friends, to do me a favor. There are many of us out here. Many of you may not have heard before, but we're all, as a great Cam Fong-is Chin Ho said on Hawaii Five-0, we're all in this together, brother, and we're in this together. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe, hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And whatever you do, by the way, I've got some questions for you. Please comment as you see fit.